Hey everybody, I have some pretty bad news. Things have been not good. Things have not been good. Yesterday my dad started to not feel very good before dialysis, and so I had to call the ambulance.
Oh, you shitting me? Anyone caught fucking with my girl, Yanika?
And so he was a little confused and not knowing what was going on. And just really out of it. So he was feeling a little bit bad on Friday. He was he had puked a few times. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I was so busy with Sierra and her cancer and trying to get her and trying to get my dad his doctor's appointment that I didn't think about it till now. But he had his colostomy bag, I think it is, not colostomy, whatever they call it, the pee bag, I would say. And basically he was starting to feel a little bit out of it and a little bit, not that well. And I was like, I thought maybe it was dialysis. I thought maybe he needed his dialysis.
I don't know.
Because sometimes when his levels doesn't get very good, they do that. He'll, people on dialysis will get a little confused and different things like that. I get this guy a parking ticket. No, I'm not really playing the game. I'm kind of playing the game, but I'm not super into it right now, as you can tell. I'm just gonna drive around. I'm not gonna answer any calls or anything. We're just gonna do stupid things.
Parked vehicle in Chamberlain Hill. Target vehicle.
But so he wasn't feeling good. He was starting to deteriorate a little bit. I was like, okay, well maybe he'll be better when he goes to dialysis tomorrow.
Proceed with patrol.
Wake up. He says his back is hurting. See, now I didn't know the signs exactly. He told me. He's like, my back is hurting so bad. I was thinking, man, what could it be? And I wish I could have snapped out of it and known what was going on. But now that I put it all together, basically 3 days before that, he had his bag changed, his pee bag. Supposedly a new person did it, so I don't know what happened there. And I don't know if they didn't do it right or what. But sometimes it does happen where you get an infection from the bag thing. So it's not. I wasn't thinking. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then I was like, "He was in the morning. He just didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what was going on or anything. Like, say, we're just kind of hanging out. I'm not really trying to play too much." And so he was really like out of it in the morning. Even that night he wasn't looking so great, and I was like, damn, maybe I wasn't thinking it could be an infection. It could be an infection. And yeah, I got my tooth missing. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on? And so I call the ambulance. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't feel good. He's repeating his stuff. These are all the signs of either his dialysis isn't going well and like the levels are off. Like on his his levels. I mean, like like his levels in his blood and all that. Sorry, my allergies really bother me in the morning. And so I was like, so I called 911, I didn't, the ambulance, there's the wheelchair driver, they call him, comes out, the same people though, that do the ambulances, and, so he calls 911 for me, or calls the ambulance people on his radio or whatever. And they come out, and I told them, I'm like, he's on dialysis. He doesn't know what's going on. He's really confused. He's out of it. There's got to be something wrong with like his blood or his blood levels or something. I repeated this. I repeated it. I says, so they, they're taking him out and getting him ready to transport. They take him to the hospital, to the ER, and for some God knows why, for some reason, they start to treat him like he's overdosed. And I was like, that has nothing to do with it. I counted his pills. He didn't take any extra pills. I'm pretty sure even if he did, they cut his prescription in half, so it would take him a lot to overdose. So even if he took an extra pill, just like a year ago, he used to take double that. But now that he switched to the VA, they don't give you as much as they used to because of like their rules or whatever. So I was like, what's going on? And then they call me on the phone and say they gave him Narcan and that he's up. I'm like, there's no way he's up. Unless the Narcan is like a stimulant, which I think it is. There's no way he's up and talking. So I'm driving down to the hospital hoping everything's going to be okay. Maybe he got in. They're saying maybe he got into his medication. I'm like, it doesn't sound right. Just doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right at all. So we're driving there, and I'm thinking, maybe he's gonna be okay, and then we're gonna pick him up. And I go there, and I go to the emergency room, and he's flaring in there. Nobody's watching him. Nobody's helping him. Nobody's doing anything. So I guess they thought he was just like some drug addict. They could just leave in a room to die, I guess, is what it was. That's what I'm getting now. After thinking about everything and the night going through and everything. And then so he's sitting there flaring around, and I'm like, what is going on? I was like, no, this isn't an overdose. I've worked security. I've seen overdoses, dude. I've seen overdoses. I've had to call the ambulance for people who overdosed on South Nevada. That's like a main street where there's a bunch of drug addicts and prostitutes and all kinds of shit. Worked there for like 3 years, so I do know a little bit about what an overdose is. I was like, dude, this is not an overdose. This is no way that this is an overdose. There's something wrong with him. And then so nobody's really doing anything. Everybody's just like, oh, whatever. They think he overdosed. I was like, that is not what you should be thinking. He's a dialysis patient. The first signs of something going wrong is they're confused. They repeat themselves. They don't know where they are. That is not what drugs do. He'd just be sitting there like, if it was drugs, he wouldn't be doing like, no, he wouldn't be acting like that. So you can take a little walk around the park. I say this is not really much of a video. I'm just trying to get this off my chest before I go to the emergency room again here. I woke up and waiting for one of the nurses to call me too. So anyways, and I'm like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden he has a seizure. He's never had a seizure before. And I'll tell you, it's really hard to see him have a seizure. I'm trying to be strong, but it's so hard. I can't get it out of my head. But I'm mad now because they shouldn't have treated him like that. They should have been looking for something else. They should have been looking for something else. And finally they're snapping out of it. I'm like, he is not doing better. You guys said he was doing better. He's not. He's sitting here asking for his mommy. His mom's been dead forever. There's something not right. So it's just like, it's really hard to see. And it looked like he died almost. He's still okay. He's still hanging in there, but it's just really hard to see that. So They gave him Narcan. They never should have gave him Narcan. I was reading today that if you give somebody Narcan that doesn't need it, that they can have the seizure. He doesn't have seizures. He doesn't have seizures. He just doesn't. He's never had one. Even when he was really sick and before and his kidneys failed, he never had a seizure. But the Narcan, he takes opioids, and it says clearly, do not give Narcan to someone that's on opioids for a long period of time, because it can cause them to die or have a seizure. And it says it right on the package, it says it right online. So it's like, how do I have more common sense than the doctors and the nurses? But they weren't very nice to him in the ER. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe they're stressed out. I understand, but it's just they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have treated him like he was a drug addict and just let him sit there for like 2 or 3 hours. And then me thinking he's okay, I would have hurried up more and gone there. I would have been like, well, no. I would have been like, no, this is not what it is. I would have told him hours before that. And they could have started working on, the blood. They have, the blood samples they needed to see if there's an infection.
A blog.
So they were saying that he might be
A recession is a growth opportunity in disguise.
he has an infection, maybe a blood infection. I forget what they call that. Something septic. And so I'm looking at my dog. She's waking up, and she puked last night too in the middle of the night. I gave her some food, and I guess it wasn't good. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was the food. Anyways, so I'm really pissed. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, he never should have had a seizure. They never should have treated him like he was some fucking drug addict on the corner they picked up. I don't understand where they got this mentality from. I really don't. I was his home health aide. He was at home. He was being taken care of. He was going to dialysis. It's not like they pulled him off the corner of the street. And the first things you should know as a doctor, any doctor, is that if they're acting like they're confused and out of it, it's either the dialysis levels aren't right or it's an infection. It's only 2 things it can be. It's the only 2 things. So I hope they didn't kill him. I hope they didn't kill him. He's alive. I mean, he's there, but he's not conscious. He's not, doing that good. He doesn't look very good. And I don't believe he would have had a seizure if they didn't give him that. If they would have not gave him that Narcan. There was no reason to give him Narcan. There really wasn't. That's why I was like, what do you mean you gave him Narcan? He's up and ready to be picked up. I'm like, what? He was just at my house. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't know where he didn't know anything. Like, you don't go from just that to being okay. You don't. There's just no, it's not like a cold or something or you got diarrhea and you feel bad and then you feel better. It doesn't work like that. Once that happens, if they're sick, they need to be treated for either a blood infection or whatever. So I just wanted to make a video and let people know what's going on, just to get something off my chest, as this has always been a good place for me to come and
Stay there! Stay
hey,
there!
bud, I need you to move along, alright? Just have yourself a good one.
You're not even worth it.
Fuck them.
Yeah. I just didn't want him sleeping there, so anyways, let's keep walking. Just walking the park here.
Can I stop by?
Them army men.
need
And
to
so I don't
borrow
know.
some
I'm gonna
donuts.
try to get a hold of a lawyer because I don't think I should have.
My fault. You gave me
I don't think he should have had a seizure to begin with. He's never had one. That's why they were all like, what's going on? The doctor's like, it's like, you guys aren't doing this. It's like you misdiagnosed this. This is not a normal person. It's someone on dialysis, and this is the stuff they do. They should know this. They really should know this. And it should be common sense. It's not like hidden. It's not like, oh, well, I didn't know because I'm not a specialist. No, everybody, any doctor should know that. So now I'm waiting to get ready, and I have to use the restroom and get the dog ready, but she's been doing somewhat okay. She's taking her cancer medicine, and she did puke last night. But I think the dog food, I opened it and I thought it smelled a little off, but I wasn't sure, and I guess it was. So she puked it up. But she took her medicine earlier in the day, so things aren't going very well, man. Everybody, please wish me the best. You know, me and my dad were decent people. We always helped people and donated and gave, you know, things to people when they needed them, and we did. We helped a lot of people. We did. You know, we weren't rich. I couldn't give them $1 million. I could be like, oh, here's $1,000. But you know, we could give them baby cribs and clothes and some food or whatever it was when we were doing better and we were both, you know, when he was healthier and stuff and able to make more money. That's what we did. You know, I'd always do that. You know, with him. And when, you know, even in 2018 we did that. I did that run for the homeless shelter for the kids because I felt bad. You know, they didn't have no toys or whatever, and so I went there with like 80 things I bought from the flea market because I used to do the flea market, and they were all brand new. Everything was brand new. It was just a mix of all kinds of things, you know, speakers and cell phone chargers, the stuff I thought they could actually use, and stuff for kids, and like scarf sets, and just all kinds of stuff. He helped me get all that. He helped me talk to the guys to get the deals on it. And you know, we're not bad people. We've never been bad people. You know, sometimes I might get a little crazy or act a little funny, but I'm not a bad person. I've never been a bad person. My issues stem from the abuse in school and stuff like that. But I've always still been a good person and done the right thing. Most of the times I'm not perfect, but I don't know. If there's anybody out there who wants to pray or wish them well or whatever, I might try to see if I can do maybe I don't know if it's worth doing it like a GoFundMe or anything like that, because I won't, like, when he gets sick and they admit him to the hospital, they stop paying me for the home health aid until he's able to come back home. So that's another thing on top of I got to worry about is money for bills and car payments, and I can't do I don't know, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know what's going to go on with that. It's not even important. I guess it's not important. If I got to give him the car back, I'll give him the fucking car back. I don't care. So I don't know. I'm just here, just trying to get some of this off my chest, let people know what's going on. So I'm going to try to talk to a lawyer and explain what happened, that they were just they weren't treating him, they were letting him sit there like they thought he was a drug addict. I'm like, no, he takes this medication every day for like the last 20, 30 years or whatever it's been. Because he's got a couple slipped discs and stuff like that in his back. We have this bad curse in our family where our backs get broken. Like, mine is broken, his has got slipped discs. My uncle was working for an electronic company, and I guess they had have him move like a server rack or some shit, and it like fell on him or something, and he messed up his back. So it's kind of like a family curse, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. Please wish me good luck, and please wish me like something. I don't know. It's been really, really hard the past few days. I was walking like through the hallways of the hospital, and there's people with COVID, and like hoping we don't get sick or he don't get sick, and I don't get sick plus this. And I don't know how it can get any worse. I really don't. I just hope I didn't see him die, pretty much. So please wish me something. Man. It's really hard to make this, but I've always been pretty honest with you guys. So, pretty much honest all the time. I'm honest to a fault. I'll tell on myself or whatever. Just please wish him well. He's always been a good guy. He was a veteran. He tried his best. He took care of me. He tried to do the right things too. He nobody's perfect though. But please wish us well. Pray for us. I don't know what to do, about anything anymore. It's been really hard this past couple of weeks. Between the dog getting sick and having surgery and the cancer, and my dad having to go to the emergency room, and like, it's just been really rough. And I don't know if I finished what I was saying. So I was walking down the hospital things, and I was like, man, I feel like passing out. I really did a couple of times. I'm usually pretty strong, but I kind of felt like taking a dive. Sierra? Somebody's up. Say hi to everybody, Sierra. Feeling better, baby? Yeah, she puked on herself last night. You still feeling pukey or not? Yeah, poor thing. I gave her bad food. I think it was my fault. But then plus the cancer medicine is supposed to make her tummy upset. So she's been doing better and healing so far. So wish her luck too. Wish us all luck. So I'm gonna try to get a hold of a lawyer and explain to what happened, because I really don't think what they did was right. I don't think what they did to him was right. I don't think giving him Narcan was the right thing. I don't think letting him sit there for 3 hours and flare around asking for his mommy was right. I think they should have been looking at, an infection or, his dialysis. They did check his blood work, but then they should have been like, okay, he's not doing. You can go in there for 2 seconds in the room and see he's not doing good. It's not Narcan. Narcan lasts a very short period of time, and it wakes him up, and it wakes people up. So what happens? They gave him Narcan. They took all of his pain medicines that he's used to having in his body out, and if you do that, all of a sudden it can have them seizure and death. Hi, babies. Okay, I'll take you. I think she wants me to take care of her. All right. Well, please wish us luck, man. Please. I always just did this because it was a dream of mine to do YouTube and just to try to meet a couple of people and have some friends. Stuff like that, and help me talk and just different things, and help me with some of my stress. So everybody take care. Please wish me the best. I really could use a lot of support right now. I hope I see you soon in another video. Hopefully he'll be okay. So take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.